have in Nigeria. Charging infrastructure. How many are we going to have stationed in everywhere? I mean, CNG was rolled out, and a lot of people still complained about CNG stations being stationed in most part of the country. People suffered until people say we are tired. We cannot do again. I think only a few people patronizes it, which isn't good. That's a failure on that part, which isn't good. So and another thing again, consumer purchasing power. That's another thing we should be looking at. These three things in Nigeria, because Nigeria is struggling with the first, which is stable power supply, more than even the other two issues. We are really struggling with stable power supply. So if we can't guarantee electricity to homes, to factories, to industries and whatnot, scaling all of these electric vehicles, I think it will become a very tough sell, of course, in this part of the world, because we have seen other initiatives like I mentioned earlier. You can't build a green future on a shaky grid. Of course. Where tomorrow is, I mean, just how many months back we had a grid failure. There's a power grid collapse. I mean, countless times we'll hear in a year, power grid will collapse up to 100 times in Nigeria. So I think that's a problem. And that said, I think starting with assembly rather than a full manufacturing company is actually realistic. We should start with assembling first before talking about, manufacturing all of these things. And you see, take for example, countries like Morocco, countries like South Africa, most of them follow similar paths before becoming serious, automotive hubs. So I think Nigeria should go back to the drawing board, look at it very well, look at what other countries have done, their struggle story, their challenges, their success story with things like this, and pick from it. And I feel like jobs created here won't just be on factory floors. I think we have to start thinking software tools, because when we think of all of these things, where the long value lies, and then I feel like EV too, I'm just even thinking, I'm just thinking about this EV. It won't be for the average Nigerians, because currently it is very expensive in most parts of the world. It is very expensive, because when you talk of charging, the maintenance in general for it is very, very expensive. Come to talk of a country that is still struggling with stable power supply. So at least not in the, I just feel like they'll start as fleet vehicles, government cars, elites, we own it, people who have money, who can, afford all of these things. I think these are the people that will afford it first. But if we are bringing this idea in the sense that we want all Nigerians to follow through, then we have to think about all other aspects first, making sure it is affordable, making sure there is stable power supply and all of these things. So that's when we can think of the way forward. Think of mass adoption, first of all.
At this point, I think we should work with what we have at hand, because bringing out, it's an exciting news, no doubt, but bringing all these things into play right now, like you said, it's not all about putting it on paper, it's about the implementation, and after the implementation, what follows after it is what is more important, the maintenance and all, which you stated rightly. We do not have steady power supply, and it's an electric vehicle. So now I just feel we should work with what we have at hand. We have many other things we have developed in this country, or this country has brought in, that have not been well taken care of. Why can't we just look into that and move forward to maintaining those ones we have at hand first? Let's see how we can run with it, than bringing all these things into this country, and at the end of the day, even for people to afford it now becomes a problem. Now you ask, how many Nigerians can actually afford this, and how can they maintain this too? So if all these things are not put in place, then why going forward to partner to develop an electric, vehicle production, when you know that keeping it here or maintaining it is going to be a problem? I don't see this as exciting as it looks, but okay, if they are looking forward to,
like you say, let's be hopeful and let's take innovation first.
Exactly.
So it is good, but
it's good, but
fix
it should be balanced.
Exactly.
Let things be balanced before we start bringing all these things in here.
Okay, let's see the next story we have here. The climate change could lead to more than half a million additional malaria deaths in Africa by 2050, with over 100 million new cases expected, according to new research. Could be reversed. I think this research forces us to rethink how we talk about malaria, because we just think malaria will not just spread because there is heat. Malaria will not only spread because because we are Africans. Malaria is in Africa. Mosquitoes are in Africa. They will not just spread because of these reasons. But we spent years focusing on temperatures and mosquitoes. But I see that this study reminds us is that climate damage is just just as dangerous as climate heat as well. And when floods wash away clinics, washes away, storms, or should I say storm destroys homes, and when all of these nets, like it is stated in the research, are destroyed, medicines can't reach people. And then malaria needs, hotter weather, doesn't need hotter weather to spread at the end of the day. So I think children bearing the brunt of this isn't surprising, because, they can hardly take care of themselves by themselves. But it's very devastating as well, because in many African countries, malaria already accounts